Now let's talk about buying and holding properties. The basic philosophy of a buy and hold property is that you're going to buy a property and rent it out, and that the tenant is in essence going to pay for the mortgage and the other holding costs. So as you start looking at a buy and hold opportunity, just realize it's going to require some long-term cash, as you're going to have to put say 10 or 20% into the property. You may be able to take that cash out through a refinance in a few years, but for now plan on that cash staying in the deal. There may be some minor rehab that needs to be done so that the future tenant will see the value of the rental and be willing to pay the rent that you are asking for. With the rehab, you will focus more on the type of finishes that make sense as a rental. With flooring, you will typically look for flooring that will show the least wear and tear and will last the longest. So you might not use carpet at all. With paint, you just realize that you want it to look good, but you will probably have to repaint at the time when a tenant moves out. As you consider the property, you have to do the math. You have to make sure that the cash flow that's coming in from the rental is going to be enough to pay for the mortgage payment, the taxes, insurance, and any utilities that you pay for. You need to know who's paying for landscaping and just kind of those day-to-day expenses associated with owning a property. You have to look at things like vacancy. What happens if the property doesn't rent for a month or two? There may be transition times when you're not getting any money coming in, and so you just want to look at your budget carefully to make sure that yes, this is going to be a positive cash flow situation and that you have some extra funds to manage through any tough times. Over time, rents tend to increase, so in future years you will be able to receive more positive cash flow. And hopefully, you're going to gain some appreciation so that you get that much more equity in the property. Something to think about is how are you going to manage the property? Do you want to be the manager and do things like showing the property and answering the phone if there is a repair issue? Do you want to have a property manager that takes care of everything? If you do, then that's a monthly expense and you've got to look to see if you can afford it on this property. So in looking at a rental opportunity, make sure it cash flows based upon how you want to manage it. Remember, there's an excellent chance you're going to have some of your cash tied up into this rental property for a while. It's what I call trapped equity. You can't use it to do anything else with those funds until the tenant has been there for a while and the property is cash flowing nicely. Once you've got some additional equity built into the property, then you can refinance, but until that point you have that equity trapped there, and you're not going to be able to use it on other deals that come your way. There isn't anything wrong with having trapped equity in a quality investment, I just want you to be aware of it. Rentals can be a great wealth-building strategy. You will love taking a depreciation expense. You will love seeing appreciation. So don't lose focus on the positive aspects of the buy and hold strategy. Rentals are great when you have great tenants. They can be a nightmare when the tenant is a nightmare. So understand your cash position and the potential ups and downs a rental might have. And hopefully, over time, the ups will tend to more than compensate for the downs.